do kind of a combination of a daily review and a lesson, but this will count on your grade, and it's not going to show you the answers because I'd like you to try to get 100%. But the good news is there's only 5 questions, and they're all review. They're all things that we have talked about before and that we should know. So, and if you follow along in this video and take good notes, you should be fine. So number 1, which is cheaper, 20% off the original price of $29.99 or 10% off the original price of $26 for a book? So what do we want to do on this? First of all, let's start with this first one right here. So we're going to take the $29.99 and then we're going to times it by something. But so remember, if the total price equals 100% and they got 20% off, we're going to subtract the 20 from 100, which equals that they actually paid 80%. But we want to figure out what the decimal form of 80% is, so we move our decimal 2 spots to the left, which is 0.80. So we're going to times the $29.99 by 0.80. So if I do that, I get 23.99. So that's for the first one. The second one was 10% off of 26 for the book. So if I take the 26, I'll just make it into dollars. And again, if the total price is 100% and they had 10% off, so I subtract 10, then that's 90%. But to find the decimal form of 90, I move it 2 spots to the left, and so I'm timesing the 26 by 0.90. So 26 times 0.90 is 23.40. So I'm going to leave this last part up to you, but you just need to decide which one is cheaper. If I have one of them is $23.99 and one of them is $23.40. So which of those 2% is cheaper? Next one. Number 2, a room is 9 feet long by 18 feet wide. A blueprint shows the room to be 4.5 inches long. What is the width of the room in the blueprint? So we need to figure out like what they have adjusted that to. So if I have a room that's 9 feet long, 18 feet wide, we'll just say this is, so it's 9 long, 18 wide. And the blueprint shows they're adjusting it to, converting it to inches instead of the feet. So if it's 4.5 inches long, then, so this converts to 4.5 inches. So we want to decide, what did we do to 9 to get it to 4.5? Well, we probably divided it by 2 to get it to 4.5. So in order to find out what the 18 would be, we're going to want to divide it by 2. So we're going to take the 18 divided by 2, and that is how we can find our answer on number 2. Number 3, an angle is an isosceles triangle that has a measure of 40 degrees. What are the possible measures of the other angles? Well, if we remember, an isosceles triangle has 2 equal sides and one that's not. I mean, this could be an example of it. There's lots of ways we could write it out. And so actually the measures there's lots of different ways we could, or not lots, but a couple different ways we could have measures for this one. So let's just say, first of all, if this side was 40, and remember that all triangles equal 180. So if I take the 180 and I subtract the 40, then, and that would kind of be assuming that the 40 is the one that's different of the two. So then I end up with 180 subtract 40 is 140. So that would leave the other 2 angles would be equal to 140. So I could divide the 140 by 2, and that would be 70. So we can know that 70 would probably be one of those. But let's also try out, what about if, I'm just going to erase this part. What about if our triangle, what about if we said that this angle was 40. Well, if they're both the same, then the other one would have to be 40, which would lead 180 subtract 40 plus 40 is 80, so we'll subtract that, which would be 100. So that would leave that the other side would be 40, and then the bottom side would be 100. So those are the three possibilities that could be for that answer, or for that question. The next one, a circle has a diameter of 10 feet. What is the area in square feet? So remember that a circle, the diameter is the straight line all the way across is 10. And then to find the radius, it's half of it. So the radius would be 10 divided by 2, which would be 5. And then remember that area, the formula for area is pi and then the radius squared. So if I'm taking pi, which is 3.14, timesing it by the radius, 5 squared, what does that equal? So basically 3.14 times 5 squared is 5 times 5, which would be 25. So whatever, 3.14 times 25, that would be my answer. And number 5, a circle has a diameter of 12 meters. What is the circumference? So remember, circumference is 2 times pi times the radius. So on this one, we want to take 2 times, oh, and let's draw our circle out really quick. So the diameter again is 12, and remember that the radius would be half of that, so radius equals 12 divided by 2, which would be 6. So I have 2 times pi, which is 3.14, times 6. So whatever I get there will be my answer. Good luck on it, and let me know if you have any questions.